Blitz is back, and so is your front row seat for all the action.
From the sidelines to the end zone.
It's the best high school football coverage in the Blue Ridge. This is Friday Night Blitz on WFXR.
Time to get it on.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm Jermaine Farrell, hoping your day is wonderful in Blitz. Friday Night Blitz is on the air. We're in the regional semifinals. Let's get the party started with our game of the week.
Now, the Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week, sponsored by Don Hudson Insurance.
Our Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week features a Regional 2C semifinal game for the second straight season. Glenver Highlanders and the Martinsville Bulldogs are meeting in the regional semifinals. Now, Glenver won last year's playoff meeting 38-0 at home. Both teams met at Highlanders Stadium back in September. Bulldogs winning that one 21-14. Martinsville having their best season in several years. While after an 0-2 start, Glenver, they're winners of 8 of their last 9 games. So we go down to Dan Green Memorial Stadium down in Martinsville. Highlanders was doing their best early and often in this matchup. Case in point, you're going to see Brody Doyot. He's going to take it up the gut, calls his own number, gets it in for the touchdown. Glenver takes a 7-0 lead going into the second quarter. Meanwhile, Glenver adding more to their lead. This is going to be Doyot hooking up with Nicholas Woodson, the senior, putting the Highlanders up by 2 scores. And Glenver rolled in this one tonight, beating Martinsville 35-0. David Guzman has more on the game for Martinsville.
Well, it's a revenge victory for the Highlanders after losing to Martinsville back in September. Glenver's season still alive, and it's the defense that really shined in this game. Coming into tonight, the Highlanders defense limiting opponents to 14 points or less in 3 of the last 4 games, and then tonight shutting out the Bulldogs 35-0.
We have coachable kids, coaches that are good coaches, and we work hard. I mean, there's really no secret to it. You just coach hard and play hard and have fun doing it. I mean, football's won typically with the teams that play the cleanest. We played pretty clean tonight. We played hard, you know, and any given night anybody can be beaten. We could have been beaten tonight just like they were. So I'm just proud of our kids and our staff for getting us where we're at.
Glenver head coach Kevin Clifford says tonight was a reprieve for him after a tough week. His son Josh is part of that UVA football team that's dealing with tragedy after losing 3 of its own to a shooting on Sunday night.
You know what? We get to practice on Monday. That's really all I care about. You know, it's been a tough week for me personally and my family. For the whole UVA community, our heart breaks for you know, the parents of the young men that were lost. So it's been really tough for me. I'm glad I got this reprieve. Tomorrow is going to be tough for the football family at UVA and for us.
Well, the Highlanders have plenty to be grateful for as they get to practice on Thanksgiving week. They're in the region championship and are a step closer to their first state title since 2014. Reporting in Martinsville for Friday Night Blitz, David DeGuzman, WFXR Sports.
Thank you so much, David. To Lindenberg Field, Radford, the other Region 2 semifinal, top-seeded Radford hosting 4th-seeded Appomattox. Go to the first quarter. Appomattox getting on the board early. That's going to be Gray Peterson with the quarterback keeper, 7-0 Raiders. Then Radford, they have a great quarterback, Landon Clark to Parker Prelou, and he does the rest. P squared takes it to the house. We're tied at 7. In Lindenberg Field, and the Radford fans dressed warmly for this one. But speaking of warm, Appomattox up 19-7. Landon Clark coming back here, the touchdown pass to David Woodard. Appomattox wins over Radford tonight, 38-33, warming up that game. So Appomattox will visit Glenver in a regional final rematch next week. Let's go to the Region 1C semifinal scoreboard. You see an upset there. Grayson County knocking off the defending regional champs in the top seed Galax 21-14. George Wythe winning over Narrows 48-28. So next week, George Wythe hosts Grayson County for the regional title. On to Region 40 semifinals, the Salem Spartans visiting the Louisa County Lions as Louisa County wearing UVA logos to honor the victims of that tragic shooting. Salem will get on the board first. Darren Wilson to Ryan Coe for the 11-yard score, 7-0 Salem. We fast forward, tied at 7, and Salem on 3rd and long. Peyton Lewis going to break free. He's in the clear, taking it to the house. 47 yards. The Spartans take a 13-7 lead. More Salem in this ballgame. They were lighting up the scoreboard. You're going to see, how about this, Lewis with that touchdown catch from Wilson there, 19-7. Salem still in the first quarter. Spartans advance to regional finals with a 54-37 win. Salem will take on the winner of our next game, which happened last night. It was Amherst County and EC Glass in the Region 40 semifinals, in that top seed. Glass looking good in the red zone. Tion Mosby, he's not going to be stopped, plows his way in for the score that made it 7-0. Glass into the red zone again, and it's going to be George White. He says, hey, I can score as well. He squirts his way in for the touchdown. The Midtown boys up 14-0. Glass back in the red zone again. I tell you what, they were paying rent, city taxes in the Hill City, all that good stuff. Jerry Cashwell taking it in, cashing it in for the pay window. Big boy with the score there, 21-0 Toppers, and then probably one of the biggest plays of the ball game. Glass going to the air. White hooking up with Mosby. He's going to take this one to the house, 41 yards, 28-0 Glass at this point. Glass wins over Amherst 42-14, so the Toppers will host Salem next week in the regional finals. In the Region 5D semifinals, Patrick Henry's season comes to an end. They fall to Mountain View 45-9. Mountain View will take on the top seed Stonebridge as the Bulldogs beat the Riverbend Bears 50-29. Coming up on Friday Night Blitz, first on the scene with your highlights. It's all about the Class 3 ranks. We have highlights from 3 games in Region 3D and Region 3C. Stick and stay, please.
This is the Home Team Fan Cam, sponsored by Hometown Automotive Service. And now, back to the Blitz. Friday Night Blitz on WFXR.
Time to get it on.
And welcome back, everybody, to Friday Night Blitz right here on WFXR. We move to the Region 3D semifinals. The top seed, the Lord Botetourt Cavaliers, hosting the 4th seed in the Bassett Bengals. First ever playoff meeting between the teams. We go to a frosty, chilly Cavaliers Stadium in Daleville. First quarter action. Tristan sitting by the dock of the Overbay. Takes it down that line. Number 10 in the program, knowing your heart. It's a touchdown, 7-0 LB. Meanwhile, LB's quarterback, a former Friday Night Blitz Player of the Week, Jakari Nicely, takes it into the house. That's going to be a touchdown. 14-0 LB in the first. Bassett trying to make a comeback, and Jerikas Hairston is going to be picked off by Keyshawn Anderson. A 330-pound interception machine, his second of the year. Word on the street from the sideline. Meanwhile, Nicely in the second quarter, he's going to get a turnover here. He's going to be picked off by BLM. That's Branson LeDuc Maddox. Does some nice running down the sideline, but Nicely would make up for it for his second TD run of the game. 21-0 Cavaliers at this point, but then back comes Bassett. It's going to be Hairston going to the air, hooking up with LeDuc Maddox. And look at this nice play. He juggles it. Yes, that's a touchdown. And it was 21-7 at the half, but Lord Botetourt wins over Bassett tonight, 41-7. Meanwhile, down in Christiansburg, Blue Demons hosting Stanton River in the Region 3D semifinals on our chilly night down there. How about this? Didn't take long for Christiansburg to get going. Curtis Altizer barrels his way in for the touchdown. 7-0 Blue Demons, and Christiansburg will never look back, rolling to a 28-0 win over Stanton River. So Lord Botetourt hosts Christiansburg in the regional final next week. Over in Region 3C semifinals, Heritage hosting Brookville at City Stadium. Brookville up 7-6, but Heritage Rajon Booker Felder running hard. He was a previous feature during our preseason show, and he's running hard. Yeah, there it is. That's a touchdown, and it was 13-7 Pioneers, but back comes Brookville. It's Zephaniah Brooks. He scores that touchdown. Pioneers, though, they advanced to the regional finals with a 49-21 win. Now, in the other Region 3C semifinals, top seed at Liberty Christian hosting the 5th seed Turner Ashby tomorrow night, 7:30 at Williams Stadium.
It's time for the Friday Night Blitz Player of the Week, sponsored by Tater Benson of MKB Realtors.
Well, this week's athlete finds multiple ways to defeat his opponents on the field. Not only did he throw for over 190 yards and 2 touchdowns, he also ran for 2 scores as well in his team's 40-12 win over Allegheny last Thursday. And guess what? He's your Player of the Week.
Gray Peterson, QB, Appomattox County High School. Well, we went to the locker room and we knew We knew that wasn't our best football we've played. It was, I think, 9-0 at halftime. And we also had that big, long drive within a minute left. I think it was 80 yards in a minute with 2 timeouts. And that really sparked the fire that led in the second half. And we came out with the mentality that it was 0-0, and it was anyone's game. And I think that really got us rolling in the second half. It felt awesome. Coach Smith and Costello and all the coaches, they prepared us well for the week. Having a little shorter of a week, we got after it at practice, line blocked real well, and went out there and did our thing.
Who got you into football?
My father. He coached my first football team back in the mini mites at Little League when we'd run around, look like bobbleheads with our big old helmets. Yeah, he really, and he used to coach here back in the day. He's now the athletic director here, but yeah, he really got me into it. We'd always go through in the yard and everything, and tackle in the basement and stuff, everything. It was awesome. You always got to do the right thing. If I'm not doing the right thing, then no one else is going to do the right thing. And you got a lot of young kids looking at you, and that's what's going to be the future of the program. And I think that the people before me, such as Trey you mentioned, did the right thing, and then now we're following in their footsteps. We have the best community in the world, and I think they see what we're trying to do here, play as one team and honor our Lord and Savior. And I think they realize that, and they get on our backs and start cheering for us.
What does Coach Smith mean to you?
He's the best coach ever, man. He's great. He's made me grow in Christ. He's helped me grow as a football player, as a student athlete in the classroom, everything.
And now, the Maca Did It Play of the Night. Sponsored by McAdoo's.
Our Maca Did It Play of the Night comes from the EC Glass Amherst County game last night. It was George White to Tion Mosby. He's not going to be stopped. 81 yards in stride. White and Mosby for EC Glass hooking up for our Maca Did It Play of the Night.
And now, Friday Night Blitz, Unsung Hero. Sponsored by the Army National Guard. Always ready, always there.
This week's Friday Night Blitz Unsung Heroes, Glenver High School volleyball head manager and junior Hannah Pennewell. Now, Hannah was nominated by the Glenver volleyball team. She is in her 3rd year in her role. Hannah is in charge of keeping the stat books during the matches. The team says Hannah is caring, reliable, and a valuable part of the team. So congratulations to Hannah Pennewell as this week's Friday Night Blitz Unsung Hero. Now, Glenver, as well as Auburn and Hidden Valley, will be playing for state volleyball titles coming up tomorrow at Salem Civic Center, big time. Also, North Cross, they will be at home taking on Atlantic Shores Christian as they'll be going for a VISAA Division II state title. So you can see all those previews on WFXRTV.com. Well, that puts this edition of Friday Night Blitz in the books. We will have all the scores and highlights momentarily on WFXRTV.com after the show. I'm Jermaine Farrell. I hope all of your teams are winners. Have a wonderful and blessed night and weekend, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving.